Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. I wanted to show you a little bit of how I organize ephemera clusters that I make. And this is not just, we're not talking about just plain everyday die cuts. We're talking about things that we put together for our journals. And I wanted to also show you this beautiful paper collection. It's called Vintage Diary. It's a signature collection by Sarah Davies, and it is gorgeous, gorgeous paper. It's vintagey, but it's not like repetitive like you've seen before. So it says single-sided, but it actually has color on the back side. It's just not as designed. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, that's the back sides of all of them. So they're different colors on the back sides, but it does say single-sided, but I guess that's their way of saying our designs are not on the one side, it's just a color, but even on the back side it's like a watercolor feature. Okay, so that's the back sides of all of these. Look at the fronts. How pretty. Let me see if I can hold it where you can see it that way. Look at that, how pretty that is. So there's, let's see, how many sheets of each design? 1, 2, 3 of each design. Then we're going to this other design. And then that gorgeous flower bundle little thing there. That's with the keys. And more flower little bouquets. And did I skip one? It felt like I skipped one. It's just this again. Little perfume, magnifying glass. I love the writing book page on there. That is lace with some watercoloring on it. I love that part. And writing. And then this with some envelopes and postcards. And more book page. That's gorgeous too. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I love all this splatters. Y'all know I'm queen of splatters. I love to splatter. Gorgeous. And Mom has been making folios with this. And you guys have been grabbing those up. You're wanting to order those. So she's been doing made-to-order folios and been busy. This is the only page, I think, in the whole pad that has a prominent color or a color that sticks out, and it's this turquoise. It is so pretty. Okay, and then that has some like ledger stuff at the top with some Roman numerals and more watercolor splatters. Little watch there. Pocket watch. And then this one is so pretty. We have more of this on order also. I meant to say that at the very beginning. We do have more of this on order. We ordered all they had and sold out. And we have done a reorder, and the manufacturer is making it as fast as they can to send it to us. So we do have this on reorder. Look at those splatters. That's pretty. Alright, and then last design. Oh, there's that turquoise again, so that would go great with that other page, but that is pretty. It's more muted than the other page was, but that would go gorgeous with that. I love the postcard, that little cluster right there. You could cut that out and use it in your journal by itself without having to do anything else to it. That's so pretty. But that is the collection we're going to be using today. And here is just a little basket that I use. I got this from Avon, and yes, if you need an Avon representative. I do sell Avon, so if you're looking for anything, I always have my link in the description box below. So click the little arrow. It's right below the video. Click that arrow and it'll expand that description, and it says let me be your Avon lady down there in the description somewhere, and you can click on that and it goes right to my website and you can order from me there. But I got this. It's actually a makeup organizer, and it's got little elastics on the sides to hold brushes and things like that, but it could also hold many other things. And then it has little expandable pockets on the back of it here, and then these little sections, there's a section here, one section here, and then there's another one section here. But this one right here, so that lets out, so you could let that out if you didn't need that. This one velcroed in and it lets out if you needed just the whole space there. And of course this one right here lets out also, and you could take that out and have a big space here. So you could take these dividers out and have one open space on the inside if you wanted. I have it set up just like Avon sent it to me. I think, or did I put this like this? Anyways, I have it set up where I've got that T pocket here on this side, and then I have this one divider here, and this is holding my ephemera book that I have a video on. It's holding one envelope. I've got to make some envelopes. That's one thing we're going to make today in this video. I've got one envelope to put in my journal. I need some more. I have these book page and dictionary page pieces. It's all cut to one size, and I have those in here. And then I have my little notepad holder, the matchbook notepad holders. I have those in here, but I have not used them yet, so I've just got them in my organizer. There's those. And yes, this is a little tall, but I wanted it to contain everything and nothing really stick out that much but these, of course. And then when I use these, I'll be tearing them and cutting them down, so eventually that little stash will go away and I'll have to order more of those. And we are trying our best to get multiple packs of these in the shop for you guys too. And when I say shop, I'm talking about www.scrapbookingwithme.com. So that's the shop I'm talking about. I had some comments asking, I would love a link to your shop. Well, it's in the description box below. It's scrapbookingwithme.com. That's the shop I'm talking about when I say the shop. These are some ephemera clusters that I made a little while back. A few weeks back was what I was trying to get out of my mouth, and I have a video about that. Those were made from one 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and then you just start your clusters on it. This is from the last M's Scrapbuster Challenge. It's those ATC pockets, and believe it or not, I had the ATC police after me in comments about how my ATCs were not the correct measurements. These are 3x4 cards I used as my project, and I was told that I was supposed to make them 2.5 by, let's see, what did they say? I've got it in that video. Instead of 3, it's supposed to be 2.5, and instead of 4, it's supposed to be 3.5. So 2.5 by 3.5 is what an ATC is really measured by, and these are not true ATCs. Well, guess what? These are my ATCs, and I made them 3x4 because I didn't want to cut every one of them down, and I'm good with that. Those are Melina's ATCs, and we're going to stick with that. Don't you just love the crafty police when they get after you? Okay, and then I have these little journaling spots with the butterflies, the stamped butterflies, and I have a video for those too. And I will try my best to remember all of these that I went over, so I can leave you the links in the description box below. So I want to make today, some more envelopes. I want to make some tags with pockets, so like library pockets with tags, and then I want to make some banners. And I know that you've seen envelopes made, I know that you've seen library pockets with tags made, but maybe you have not seen banners made that go into your journals, and I want to show you what I'm talking about there after we make a couple of envelopes and pockets. So let's start with, I want the envelopes and the pockets. Now the tags do not matter because you can do directional, but I want the envelopes and the pockets to be non-directional paper, because when you start doing all those folds, you get words upside down and things like that. So we don't want that. That's got words on it. There was one other that was nondescript. Okay, so that's got that on it, but I can still use that and get it the correct way. So let's use this. Now this paper that comes in here, it does say paper pad. It is 180 GSM. So it's not a really thick cardstock, so you can manipulate it a little easier, but it's not paper weight either. So it's in between. It's a good in between. Envelope first, and what I want to do is get 4 out of this. So I'm just going to cut this in 4 equal parts. So this is a 12 by 12 sheet. So we're cutting, I'm going to move my organizer over. So we are cutting at 6 inches. And then we're going to cut at 6 inches again. Okay, and that got us 4 exact envelopes as far as squares anyway. Paper size 6 by 6. So here's my 6 by 6 paper size. Of course you can do this without this thing. This is just my go-to whenever I start an envelope. So paper size is 6 by 6. You're going to score at 3 inches. So that makes sense. 6 by 6, you're going to the 3-inch mark, and I'm going to punch, and I am going to score. Alright, then I'm going to line up my score line here. At 3, and I'm going to punch and line my score up again, and score and punch, and one more time. Whoops, didn't get on the score line that time. Okay. Alright, so we're going to fold over. Look how pretty that inside is. We're going to fold over, and fold over. And then I'm going to figure out which tab I want as the top. And there's that writing on the very first one I do. Yay. Okay, so there's the writing. So I need this tab, which is pretty. I'll need that tab to be my top tab. I am going to round this bottom flap, and I'm going to round my top flap. Okay. I had some asking from my last video, making sure that my finger was okay from where I stabbed myself with my Tim Holtz scissors. I'm good. It is still so sore. There it is, right there. It is still very, very sore, and it will stay like that, of course, I know. But that was not that was not a good experience. I was kind of dumb using my Tim Holtz scissors that day. But I'm good. I'm recovering. I'm going to ink around the edges with my Vintage Photo ink. I'm going around, and I went ahead and folded it. I'm going around and just inking those fold lines. Okay. And then I do not like using liquid glue on my envelopes just because I've had too many. I'm reaching for my score tape, sorry. I have had too many to get all closed up and not hold anything because I got the glue on this part. So I'm getting out my 1/8 inch score tape. If you do not have score tape, you need this in your life. I love score tape. Alright, so what I am going to do is I'm looking at that bottom flap, and I'm making sure that that bottom flap is not going to be touching that inside at all, and it's not. So I'm just going to go around the edges of my bottom flap. I'm talking about on the edges of this flap, not here. I know that that touches that. I'm just talking about around the edges. So I'm going to go around the perimeter of my bottom flap and go ahead and attach it. If my fingers will cooperate, I will anyway. Okay, another piece there. Let me get my scissors. And then another piece on this bottom little flap here, because if you put some little stuff in your envelope, you don't want it to fall out. So there's that. Okay, put my backing down really good and then come back with my scissors and get that off since my nails don't want to work. Get this one off and that one, and fold up. Get all of my backing out, and then there is your little envelope that you can add to your journals. And this is just a little mini journal. You can add this to regular size. Oh, look how good that goes with that. That's pretty. But you can just make a little flap here and adhere, just do a score line down the middle, adhere one side there and one side to your page there, and you have a little hinged envelope inside your journals. So that's what I use my envelopes for is I do the little hinged edge there. It could be like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch wide, and just score it right down the middle. And then you have an 1/8 on here and an 1/8 on your page. That way you don't cover up as much of your pretty envelope. But anyways, you just put the envelope in there, and you put all kinds of little love notes and things like that in there. Or you, of course, you can add this to a regular size journal. Let me get mine down here, or one of mine. Regular size journal. And attach in. You can have little half pages maybe that you've got in here. This, if you didn't care to cover this up, you could just adhere the envelope in there like that. Just all of the back sealed, adhered to that little half page. And then when you move this, you've got an envelope on one side, and put little journaling spots and things in there. So there are the envelopes. So I will get 4 envelopes out of one 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. And there are my other 3 and my 1 envelope already made with the inked edges. So there's that. So I'll have 4 envelopes to add to my ephemera stash. Okay, now I want to do some library pockets with tags. Now I have 2 different library pocket tutorial videos, and I will link them below. So this is just showing you that I'm getting library pockets and tags done. The actual tutorial, a slow one, step by step, I have 2 of those. One really old one, amateurish one from years and years and years ago, and then one recent one where I've revisited that because it was getting a lot of views, and I thought maybe I should do an updated, better version of that one. So if you're looking for a slow step-by-step tutorial of how to do library pockets, I've got 2 for you, and I will link them in the description box below. I want to make these 3 inches wide, I think. Yeah, I want to make them small. I've got some bigger ones somewhere. I've got to find them and put them in my ephemera organizer. But I'm only wanting to make these 3 inches wide. So 3 and 3. You're going to get 4 library pockets out of one 12 by 12 sheet of this cardstock. So I'm going to make my pocket this, and I'm going to use my 1.5 inch circle punch, and I'm going to make me a notch, and that's a deep notch. You don't have to make that deep of a notch if you don't want to. This is 12 inches long, and I want to fold up to, let me get this here so you will be able to see what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn it this way. So here's the 12 inches. Here's my paper. There we go. Okay, so you've got your 12 inches. I'm going to turn it this way because this is how I'm going to flip it up. This is your 12 inches. I'm going to fold up to the 5 inch mark. So this was 12 inches. This is a 12 inch piece of paper, cardstock. I'm folding up to the 5 inch mark. And then to the 7 inch mark. So lay that back out and fold your top down to the 7 inch mark. Now, if you want to leave this paper just like this and make your pocket just like that, you can, and I will probably do that on a couple of these other 3. But I like how this looks up against each other, and then put a more bold tag inside. So just to review, I have a 3-inch wide by 12-inch long piece of cardstock. I have folded up to the 5-inch. So if you have a ruler right beside your piece of cardstock, just fold the bottom up to the 5-inch mark, do your notch, and then fold the top down to the 7-inch mark. And then I'm going to use my liquid glue and I'm just going to go ahead and fold that down. And adhere it. And since this is not the thickest cardstock paper pad, that is going to give you some sturdiness to the back there. So this is just one way of making a library pocket. And like I said, I've got videos on how to make them in my list of videos. And I'm going to use that 1/8 inch score tape again. Alright, so my 1/8 inch score tape is on the edges. Before I adhere anything down, I'm going to ink my edges and ink my notch. I'm going to ink my fold lines also, both sides. Make sure to ink the side that's going to show whenever you fold up your... Okay, let me go back and do a little bit more on this side, and then I'm going to ink my fold line. Okay, and then I'm going to get it even on the top here before I close it down and adhere those edges. You've got this little opening there at the top, and you could always hinge these edges so you could get even more, but I wanted some small library pockets. I'm going to cut out this little notepad here that I just had in my stash of ephemera bits that I need to use up. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the edges of this. And then I'm going to fold it to put inside. So it's a little journaling spot that's like a booklet. And it is 2 inches wide by 2 3/4 tall. So there is a little journaling spot to put in there. You could use even regular notebook paper and coffee dye it. And this is an old paper pad that's just notepad looking. So we could do, I'm just going to do 2 inches wide on this. So I'm going to cut this down and do 2 inches. Whoops, I'm going to do 4 inches because I'm going to fold it. Duh. Alright, 4 inches wide. And then I don't need it this tall, of course, so I'm going to make it, because this one is 2 3/4 and it goes way down in there. So my height on this is 5 inches. So I'm going to make this 4 inches tall. And we're going to add both of these in there. Alright, so 4 inches. I need to cut off just a little of the bottom. I can use that for something else. Okay, so this is 4 inches by 4 inches, so 4 by 4. And I'm going to ink my edges. And maybe dirty up the corner just a little bit, and maybe that corner too. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this in half so we've got writing space on the front and writing space on the back. Okay, and then add those to our little pocket. I love that. Very, very cute. So we've got a little tag booklet. And then we've got our folded over to fold pocket. Okay, so that's going to go in our ephemera organizer. And I will show you this one. Let's see, which side do I want as my bottom? I think I'm going to make this one the bottom. I'm going to do a more shallow notch on this one. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing as far as the bottom, and I'm going to fold it up to that 5-inch mark. So all that means, guys, if you're not wanting to fold, if you want to use your score pile or your scoring tool, you're just making a score line at 8.5 on one end. You make a score line at 8.5 on one end, make your notch, and there's the bottom of your library pocket. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up beside this, and this is all this is telling me is how far up I need to go. So I need to cut at 3.5. So you've got a 12-inch sheet of cardstock. You're going to score at 8.5, and then you're going to cut it off at the 3.5-inch mark. So three and a half. Let's see, we're doing it this way, Melina. So we're going to go up to 3.5, which is right there. Do I still got it on? Yep. My fingers moved. Okay. And if you don't want to do the fold over method like I did on this one, it gives yourself a little bit more oomph to your pocket. If you wanted to just use that, which is gorgeous, up against that, then you could, and you're just going to cut it at 3.5 inches, and then you're going to score it at 8.5, fold up, make your notch, ink your edges, all the edges on the outside, just to make sure that you get them all done, and I like to do that. And if I adhere them on the back and I've inked that edge, oh well, it was inked. If I don't, and I just paper clip them in, when you pull them out, all the edges are going to be inked, and you will have done your job, and you won't go, oh, I wish I would have inked all of those edges. I had someone, when I made that collaged envelope a few weeks back, put in the comments, I don't get why you inked and decorated that whole back if you're just going to glue it into your junk journal. Well, at that very moment, that's what I thought I was going to do, but as you can tell, it's still in my organizer and I haven't put it in there yet. So when I get to adding it into my organizer, I might just hinge it in, or I might just paper clip it in. And if I were to have not decorated the back at all and I just decided to paper clip it into one of my journals, guess what? I'd have to go back and redecorate that back because I didn't do it in the first place. So I'm just doing everything in the first place so that later on, when I decide my harebrained mind decides to use it, then it's already done for me. Okay, so there is our inked pocket. I'm going to use that 1/8 inch score tape again. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this that we cut off as our tag in this. Okay, so I'm going to put my 1/8 inch score tape down and trim. Doing two things at once as far as crafting goes is not my expertise, guys. So when I stop talking, it's not because I have nothing to say, that's for sure. My husband would say that's for sure too. I just get to concentrating and forget, hey, you need to talk to them while you're doing this. Okay, so as you know, we put the 1/8 inch score tape on both sides, so this is not going to fit down in there. So you've got to cut off some of this. And this, like I said, is just the cut off from the top of this. And I'm going to go over to, I think I'm going to go 2 1/4 and see if that will work to put in there. 2 1/4. Yes, it works fine. Okay, so I'm going to round these top corners. And put a little bit of seam binding at the top. What I want to do is just use the Tim Holtz tiny attacher and attach that ribbon at the top. So let's ink these edges. Okay, so get my seam binding and get it as even as possible. This one's a little roughly, so that might not be too easy to do. And use my tiny attacher and put that on. Cute. And what you'll want to do is you've got to train that paper to be open. So just kind of whirl your finger around a little bit, and that gets that in there. So there's the 2 different ways, but I'll be doing these tags, so I'll do 2 more to add to my stash. So we've got those. Got those done. I've got envelope done, and I've got 3 more to do. Okay, so there's 2 projects down, and then I'm going to make banners. So I'm going to do a full sheet. Put my organizer there. Get my paper pad back over here. I want to do a full sheet of banners And I like that paper, so I'm going to do that one. Alright. And I will show you how I do my banners. So you've got a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock here. And I am going to make my banners. Let's see. Let's do, I want to try to get as many as possible out of this without making them too many. So let's do them at 3 inches tall by, let's just cut 3-inch strips. Now we're making them 3 inches tall, so that's why I've turned my paper this way, and we are cutting the paper 3 inches, and then 3 inches, so kind of just like we did the pockets. They were 3 inches wide, so we're going 3 inches, and then another 3 inches. Okay. Come on by, Aaron J. You need to go get your lunch. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. All right, so we've got 3 inches tall, and I am going to make them, 2 inches wide. So I'm going to make small ones, but they're not too many. Mini is in M-I-N-I. They're not too small, and they would be great little accents to pages. So I'm just lining up all of my 3-inch strips and putting it on the 2-inch mark. And there we go. Okay, so then you line those papers back up, put it on the 2-inch mark, and trim. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 going to be banners. Okay, so what I do to make banners, it is the easiest for me, is I fold in half and make a little crease at the bottom. Remember, you're going to cut that bottom off, so it doesn't matter that you've got that crease right there. So I fold it in half and make my little crease, and then this is your 2 free ends. Okay, so I'll make, you all right, Aaron J? Okay. Your free ends are here. There's your little creased bottom there, and then you're going to cut at your free ends and just cut up, and there is your banner cut. Now you can make the banner tails as deep as you want them. So you can go up higher and make them deeper. You can go down lower and make them more shallow. I'm going to go up really high and make some deep ones. Okay, there's a deep banner. There's kind of mid-level. Okay, we'll put them there so you can see them a little better. Okay, and then this one, let's do a little more shallow. I really like the shallow ones. I like that. So you've got a really shallow, and then you've got a mid-level, and then you've got a really deep banner. Okay. I guess the reason I like the more shallow is because you can get more stuff. You can decorate more stuff here. With this one, you would, be able to put maybe some ribbon or something at the top and a little doodad maybe over there, but you wouldn't be able to decorate as much on these. So I like the shallow one. So I'll show you one more time. This, you fold it in half, but don't make the crease all the way. You just fold it in half, make the ends meet, and you just crease at the very bottom, and then you cut up from your free ends, and that gets you your banner shape. Now, I know that a lot of people say, well, I've never used a banner in my junk journal. What do you use them for? Well, I get little die cut pieces. Like you could even use little pieces like this and make a little cluster at the top. Let's see. Little clock, I like that. Let's use that. And let's see. How about, of course, me and Mother's favorite, butterflies. Let's find some more little, ooh, yes, you could do those. Okay, the little circle snippets that we did an M Scrapbuster challenge for, you could add those really easily to these. That is beautiful. I love that. I think I will use a couple of those on these. Yep, I like that. Alright, let's see if we've got another color of butterfly. That one is not the prettiest on that paper. Let's see about this one. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so this is how I use banners in my junk journal. So let me get this inked. I'm going to show you this one. Alright, so I'm going to ink my edges. And then I'm going to dirty up these edges a little bit more, since that's a dark cardstock. I'm going to ink my edges, and then I'm going to add my little circle snippet. And this was a very popular video, the circle snippet M's Scrapbusters challenge. It was a popular one. Y'all really like that one. Alright, before I adhere that down, I'm going to take that off. I had a brain something happen. I won't say that word. Gonna fold my ribbon and make a knot here on the side like this, and I'm going to snip my ribbon at an angle like that, and then I'm going to press that into there, add me just a little bit more glue across that center where that will touch that ribbon. I'm going to move my circle over from where I was going to put it just a little bit, because I've got that ribbon knot right there. So there's our little circle snippet and our little ribbon knot there. So there's you a little banner, and I'll show you. You can add these to any of your pages. You can add that to the top there of your page. If you wanted to use it as a bookmark for where you're about to journal in your journal, you can add it with a paper clip. You can add it on to your page with a paper clip, or you could add a hinge onto the back of it and have it as a flip up, or you can just adhere it to your page and it just gives some decoration to that page. So out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you're going to get 24 of these little doolollies to decorate and make your own. I'm going to go ahead and decorate these, and I will show you them at the end of the video. Ain't that cute? Cut this down just a little bit more, have it over this way, and put that clock there and decorate these up. So I'm going to decorate these 4, and I'll go ahead and cut these, but I don't know that I'll have time at this very moment to decorate them, but I have them cut. I'll have them cut down banners. I'll have the banner cut. I'll have the banner cut on the bottoms of them to add to my ephemera book so that I can later decorate them. So there's my banner bases that I'll have. So I'll have banner bases, then I'll have some that's already decorated to add to my ephemera book. Then I'll have library pockets with tags or booklets, and I'll have envelopes to add to my ephemera storage or organizer that I've got. For now, this is what I'm using as my ephemera organizer. So I've got these 2 cut or fold down to envelopes, these 2 to fold down to library pockets. So you'll get 4 library pockets out of 1 piece of 12 by 12. If you use my measurements, you'll get 4 envelopes out of a 12 by 12 sheet if you use my measurements, and then 24 banners out of a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. So if you have 12 by 12 cardstock sitting around, it doesn't have to be new like I used, that vintage diary. It doesn't have to be new cardstock. If you've got some cardstock sitting around that would go with your junk journals, by all means, you could use that and decorate it up, or even collage it and make it your own and then decorate it just like I have. So that gets you some ephemera pieces built up in your junk journaling stash. I wanted to show you one more thing. You could, of course, hide a paper clip on the backs of these little banners and use them as decorative bookmarks, paper clips to just clip into your journals too. So there's all kinds of things that you can use these little cute banners for, and I think maybe in the future we need to have a banner mass making in the M Scrapbusters. What do y'all think? Yeah, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and visiting my channel today. If you are not a subscriber here, I would love for you to be, and we do all kinds of paper crafting. If you love that, you'll love my channel. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day. Bye, guys.